The Chicago Bulls get another big victory, starting off their road trip 2-0. We're going to talk about the big fourth quarter from DeMar DeRozan, who just over the last 2 games, he's back to being the king of the fourth, which I think is important. The Bulls also starting off, like I said, that road trip 2-0, and the Bulls get their 21st clutch victory of the season, and a fight breaks out towards the end of the game. Not really a fight, more like a
kerfuffle.
We'll talk about that all and more on today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily podcast on the Chicago Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. That's Pat the Designer, host and creator of the Windy City Breeze, and host of the Chicago Bears podcast over at ESPN 1000. See you taking a little more gingerly today.
Yeah, it's a little more gentle. I got to be careful out there. I hurt myself yesterday.
Getting old. My name is Haize, the host creator of Chicago Bulls and Chicago Bears Central YouTube pages and podcasts. And Pat, let's go ahead and get into it, man. Bulls get a victory, man, against the Utah Jazz. Now, this is a game that the Bulls led throughout most of this game. The Utah Jazz only had the lead for 33 seconds overall in this game. But nonetheless, the Bulls, as always, find a way to make it interesting down the stretch of this game. And one of the things that were most interesting down the stretch is DeMar DeRozan's fourth quarter. 6 of 12 from the field, 5 of 5 from the free throw line, 17 points, 1 assist, 3 rebounds. But get this, he scores 17 points. No other Chicago Bulls scores even close to double digits. The next player close to him in fourth quarter was Nikola Vucevic with 4 points. Other than that, a bunch of 2 points scored and 1 point by Ayo Dosunmu. How you feel about the fourth quarter from DeMar DeRozan tonight, Pat?
I mean, again, listen, like this is how you want to utilize DeMar when you need to close things out. Bulls got on a little bit of an offensive rut there. I think Kobe White didn't take enough shots in the second half of the game.
Only 5 shots in the second half of the game.
Maybe shoot the basketball, stay aggressive there. But I think realistically, right, when you see the flip side of that, where DeMar is kind of getting himself going, he's cooking. He was doing pretty well for most of the second half of that game, right? There are times where you can just let him go. And I was okay with seeing DeMar kind of go off in the second half of tonight's game, and especially in that fourth quarter where the Bulls needed to continue to get tough buckets, continue to get to the free throw line to pull this game out, and you needed every single one of them. I thought DeMar did a really good job forcing his way downhill, forcing his way to the free throw line, ended up getting to the free throw line a couple of times there, and just really kept the Utah Jazz on their back foot the entire time. And that's when you have a player that can do that, it's fine to me when you utilize that guy for a run. I think that's what the Bulls did tonight with DeMar DeRozan. I think it's what they did last night with DeMar DeRozan, right? Kobe White got out to a big start to start the game off. As the second half got here, things had slowed down a little bit, and you started to need DeMar to go off and be that player again. I'm fine with him being that guy in that moment, and I thought that it was a really good showing yet again. Now, listen, defensively, maybe do a little more down the stretch, right? That's the tough part about relying on DeMar, I think, so heavily, is that you also have to rely on DeMar on the defensive end. And listen, one shot away from that not going well. That's all I'll say. One shot away.
Listen, we'll talk about that a little bit more in the second the second segment of the show today. But listen, DeMar, and I've already seen a lot of people, especially when I did the live stream over on Central, people asking and talking about like, well, DeMar's being a ball hog, and it's like, no, you got to understand that Kobe was cooking this game. At that point, the defense is going to gear and adjust to what Kobe's doing. Now, he did only take 5 shots. Would I like to see him take more shots in the second half? Yeah. Absolutely. But when a team is pressing you, and we got outscored by 12 points, I believe, in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, 12-1.
And so when that happens, you need to go to the person who is almost guaranteed to get you a bucket or get to the free throw line and still put points on the board. And right now, that's DeMar DeRozan. Kobe White has shown some growth in getting to the free throw line, absolutely, from what he's done over his career. And we want to see that continue. But as of right now, if you're trying to win basketball games, DeMar offers you the best chance to do that. Now, for the credit, Kobe White led in free throws today, I believe, right? Did he? No, Kobe White didn't get to the free throw line any of this game.
No, I was going to say, I don't believe so. DeMar led with that. DeMar ended up taking 7 today.
Yeah.
No, so. I just listen. It's a weird thing where like you have to rely on DeMar to kind of be in these moments, because I think most of us are expecting the future to be a future without DeMar DeRozan being a part of the Bulls. And you would like to see Kobe White kind of step up in those moments. But realistically speaking, I think you hit the nail on the head. The Bulls are still trying to make the playoffs. They're still focused on competing to stay in the play-in here. They're now 3-3 or 4-3 post All-Star break. What are we now? 7 games in? I believe we would, or 3-3, one of those two. And now you're talking about a team that's trying to get on the positive side of 500. We've been here before, right? Like that to me is why you're seeing DeMar DeRozan close out some of these games, why you're seeing DeMar DeRozan lock in on some of these runs, and the Bulls are being okay with that. In fact, we heard in this game here from Casey Johnson before the game started that the Bulls were kind of on DeMar's heels about not taking shots early on and kind of like, hey, you got to get yourself going, man. You can't be the second half and you've taken, I think it took 2 shots in the last game. This game took a couple more shots in the first half, but really, again, allowing Kobe White to cook, allowing Kobe White to go off and build that lead up. And when they needed him most, he was able to come through. He was not the avatar, and that's why I can deal with it.
Yeah. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. And that's the point of building out a team, right? You're like part of when you flesh out a team. Now we know that this team isn't constructed hugely well, and we hope to see that improve. Is that you build out for players that have strengths where other players have weaknesses at, or while they're trying to grow and develop at. And so right now that is his strength as far as DeMar DeRozan is closing out games. And you got to love that he's able to do it consistently, even at this age, regardless of how many shots he's had at any other point in the game. Guess what? When you call on DeMar DeRozan in that fourth quarter, he usually is going to deliver for you.
And you needed him immensely in this game because of, right, again, the conversation around Ayo Dosunmu. Yeah. Ayo just was off today. I mean, like, bro, dog, when he missed the layup on the 2-1,
that was last season. Ayo with Mr. Smoking the layup.
Dog, I had no idea what was going on, bro. He threw it to him and like he lost the ball and like blocked it off of the glass himself right into the opposing team's hand. I had no idea what was happening there, but I mean, like, that's why you need a player like DeMar DeRozan. When we talked about having Ayo Dosunmu and Kobe White as a backcourt duo, listen, I thought I liked what Ayo did defensively in this game. I thought he did a good job switching between Colin Sexton, who, hey, did you see the game Colin Sexton had? See how he played a little bit, little Donovan Mitchell?
No, it's not Donovan Mitchell. There's nothing similar to Donovan Mitchell. Bro,
I'm just saying.
Bro, you need to check them Zinni. You need to check them Zinni glasses because that was not a Donovan Mitchell performance.
Slowly working his way.
That was closer to Ben Gordon than it was a Donovan Mitchell.
Slowly working his way back into that. Was that 5 for 8 from the 3-point line?
5 for 11.
Hey man, balling. But no, I mean, realistically speaking, right? Like you love the backcourt combination and defensively how Ayo was able to step up. But offensively, sometimes it just falls off a cliff. Sometimes it's just not his night. And so you need that guy. You needed DeMar DeRozan to be that guy that Ayo Dosunmu was last night, tonight. And it's good to see that you were able to get that kind of AB pairing tonight.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, and you're gonna have the games where somebody doesn't step up. Somebody's gonna have a cold night, and that was Ayo Dosunmu tonight. It's unfortunate. Would we like to see Ayo play better than that? Because I think if Ayo, with how he's been playing over the last month, if he plays that way today, both defensively and offensively, the Bulls win this game handily. But again, we saw a collapse. We'll talk a little bit about that coming up in the next segment and whatnot. But overall, I got to give credit for DeMar. Got to give credit for I throw this before we get out of here. I know this may fit better in the next segment, but just real quick, how do you feel about the coaching that Billy Donovan's been doing lately?
I mean, listen, he's definitely coaching. Did you see he was standing on the court at the end of the game? Like he was like 3 feet on the court. I was like, whoa, Billy Thibodeau, get back there, sir. Like, no, sir. Huh?
I'm glad that you picked right on up there. That's what makes this show so special. We didn't plan that at all.
Bring me that trumpet.
Bring me that fish.
Hey, bro, that's hilarious, bro. What happened to him? He gone? He just
he still posts every day, bro.
I ain't seen him in a minute.
I think people they've gotten desensitized to it, so it doesn't get reposted as much as what he used to.
That checks out. But no, the one thing that I think about Billy Donovan's coaching is I think I can't complain about the rotations. Maybe would have wanted to see Drummond a little bit more today, just because it felt like the Bulls started getting out rebounded way too easily, but you also needed the offense. So who was Drummond coming in for? Yeah, I mean, like that's always the tough one. I think that Billy's done a much better job coaching his team, down the stretch in the second half of this season. And my biggest gripes are the same gripes: the fact that the young guys that came on, you had no idea how any of them played, right? Like you had no idea that what is it? Is it Bidham? Is it Bidham now? Did you see Casey Johnson corrected people on that? I don't know what his name is anymore, bro.
Listen, I'm gonna talk the way I talk. And until he comes and says, "Hey, Haize, you're saying it wrong," that's how I'm gonna say it.
I don't know what it is anymore.
I don't care.
But the only issue I've had is that he had no idea that this young man could play. And listen, not a lot of run for him today. Didn't get out there a ton today. Got 6 minutes in today. Julian Phillips with about 14 minutes. Maybe wanted to see a little bit more from the young guys, but I think that tonight's game fit kind of the game that you were playing for most of the time that you saw, or his game plan fit the game that you saw on the court most of the time, especially when what's the rookie's name that was killing us? Sassenbach or Sassenbach, whatever it was. He was cooking us tonight.
So he was cooking. Shout out to him for having a big game tonight.
Get him. Ain't no shout out to him. It's Locked On Bulls. So
listen, come on, bro. We still gotta call it fair. But we're gonna talk about this game overall, man. Coming up next is the Bulls starting the road trip 2-0. In a road trip that I won't lie, wasn't too confident coming into this road trip, but the Bulls are starting this off 2-0, 2 games below 500. But before we get into that, I'm gonna talk to you guys about one of our sponsors, and that is eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. What brings home the winning trophy is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. From superchargers to roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more, whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you always find exactly what you're looking for. And with the eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win and that woman. Keep your ride or die alive. ebaymotors.com. Eligible items, exclusions do apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers.
You're a little fresh. I like the Chicago blue. Or is that Carolina blue? Carolina blue, maybe?
It's Chicago blue. It's supposed to be Chicago with the Bulls logos on the back of the jacket.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
what
fresh.
I do. I rock with you.
What do you know?
Amazon on that?
You say that, I hate you, bro, because never. The fact that you really thought the Bulls gear came from Amazon, bro. Like, which one of us is almost 40? Sometimes I gotta question that. Your neck's hurting when you do the whole thing. Like,
hey, bro, listen. I'm gonna tell you this right now. The person they needed to send the Stitch Fix sponsorship to was not you, bro, because I do not shop for myself at all, bro. Wife bought it. Wife bought it. Yeah, I mean, like, listen, I'm not.
Did Maya buy the chains too?
Yes. Bro, I'm joking. I don't, bro. I buy stuff for the house. I buy stuff for the dogs. I buy stuff for the kid. I buy stuff for the wife. I do not buy stuff for myself. The stuff I buy for myself is every now and then I get some VC on 2K. Like every now and then, like if
the times that I have to tell you that eating fried chicken isn't healthy just because it's chicken.
I mean, listen, that's still up for debate.
That's not up for debate.
Still up for
it's
debate.
Not up for debate.
It's up for debate. I don't know.
Sir,
bring me that chicken.
With that said, though, Pat, the Bulls have now started off this 4-game road trip 2-0. How confident? Like, has your confidence level changed at all because of the way the Chicago Bulls play? I know this game left a lot to be desired for in this game, but how are you feeling overall right now with the Bulls?
Say,
okay.
I said that this team would probably finish out with a winning record this month, but because of everything they would have to go through to finish out with a winning record, they would be gassed to finish out the rest of the season. And that will bring you back to even or right above even or right below even. We're heading for a 42-42 season. Guess what? Good run here by the Bulls. Good 2-0 win out west. You're still sitting at 2 games below 500. Nothing's changed. You're still sitting at a 4-3 record, 1 game above 500 over your last 7. Like it's the same Bulls team. Yes, they can compete with anybody and they can lose to Detroit. Like nothing has changed for me with all of this. And so guess what? We got 2 games left. We got the Golden State Warriors tomorrow, and then what is it? Friday we got the Clippers. Very easy.
Saturday we got the Clippers.
Or Saturday we got the Clippers. Very easy for you to go 2-2.
But I think we initially came into that saying come out of this week 500.
Oh no, listen. It was unexpected for them to come out of this week 500, and so it would have been knowing that we're coming out of it 500 feels very good, but you're still coming out of it 500. Right? Like I don't think it changes the outlook of the entire team. Does it make it change my outlook on this West Coast trip? Yeah, it was a good West Coast trip. You might come out of it 500. You might come out of it 1 game above 500. But at worst, you can do is 500. And so I'm not mad at the outcome of what this West Coast trip can be. Does it change how I feel about the West Coast trip? Sure. Does it change how I feel about the Bulls this season? Absolutely not.
Yeah, it is what it is this season. We're just trying to finish out this thing strong, brother. That's it. We're just trying to finish this thing out strong. Get to the off season. Let's see what it's going to be. That's it. That's what it comes down to, bro. Like at the end of the day, listen, we found out Javon Carter's first name is Leroy. That made it all worth it to me. You gotta take your victories where you can get them.
Take your wins where you can get them, man. Yeah, I think honestly, dog, like the funniest thing about finishing out this season strong is what is strong? Is strong 500? Because of how poorly you started this season, like maybe they are finishing out the season strong. And those are all the things that AK is going to say when we get to the end of the year. Well, we started 4-15, but after that, let me tell you, 500 the entire way.
That goes back to the topic of yesterday's video because it's like, listen, I love that we're winning. Do not get me wrong. Love it. But I do have some concerns that how much is that going to now lead AK to sell us on? Listen, remember I told y'all we were competitive? Look at the 4-15 record. Look, we finished the season such and such, such and such, and then we're gonna be stuck looking like, come on, AK.
And we're gonna get Zach LaVine back.
Yeah, we're adding Zach LaVine back. Who we're high on. We're gonna have a first round pick.
We're high on.
We're gonna have a first round pick who we really feel is gonna confidently come into this roster and really help us. All the same things. All the same things.
Still have an 18th overall pick that doesn't play. Logged literally 0 minutes today.
Who you talking about? Dalen? He was out this game with personal reasons.
Oh, was he out?
Yeah.
Okay, I missed that. One. I'll allow it.
See, just ready to go off, bro.
I'll allow it. Hey, did he play yesterday? Was he out personal reasons yesterday?
Well, that's probably why he was out. It probably is why he was out because he wasn't on the bench. So
okay, never mind. I ain't gonna crack no jokes today.
We're not gonna crack the jokes on the personal reasons because listen, we all got families and things like that. But here's what I'll say is that he wasn't playing before then too. So I mean, I get what you're saying with that. And they gotta figure out something with that, absolutely. But yeah,
said fam was looking to cook Billy, bro. It's not even Billy at this point. It's just like I'm just waiting for my front office to come down and be like, hey, like here's the thing. This is how most front offices work. When you pick players, they tell you to play them. like when you pick players like right outside the lottery, they usually like tell you to play them, unless you have really, really, really good players in front of them.
Yeah, we got Leroy Javon Carter. What are you talking about, bro?
We got Leroy.
How dare you put some respect on the name of Leroy Javon Carter, bro? Like, what do you mean? Why would we play
Javon Carter? I don't know if you remember the Leroy Jenkins thing, but Javon Carter played just like that, bro. Whenever, because Billy Donovan come up with this whole plan, is like, all right, it's better odds than what we thought we were gonna have, boys.
Leroy Jenkins.
Did he just pump fake a 3?
And he led the team in minutes off the bench today, bro. So clearly our Leroy tangent just got the man more minutes. So we just need to shut up.
I love the fact that you also knew the Leroy Jenkins, bro. That's funny.
Oh, yeah. Come on now. That's internet meme Hall of Fame right there. If you don't know the Leroy Jenkins.
Great, yeah. Man, that was better than Torrey Craig almost choking somebody out in the chain.
Which we got to talk about to end the show.
Got to talk about Torrey Craig almost.
So how you cause an incident and you weren't even in the game, my boy. And then once it started popping off, Torrey Craig step back like, wait a second, I got on my good shoes. I got on my good shoes. Wait a second.
Torrey Craig rocking GLD out here, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
That's
You see the shade right at the
crazy.
GLD going.
That's crazy.
Hey, the GLD be looking fresh. I am not above GLD out here, boys.
Is that where your chains came from? Are you trying to tell us something?
No. These ain't come from that. I'll tell you where the chains came from. But not on the stream. Amazon? Hey, man. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. Before we get into this final topic where we got to break down what we saw in the Bulls getting their 21st clutch win out of 36. We played so many clutch games. We do have to tell you guys all about BetterHelp. As you know, on this show, me and Haize are both big advocates of BetterHelp, and that's why this episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Listen, sometimes we all need the opportunity to get some things off our chest, big or small. Certain things can really start to get to you. It's important to let it out, especially to someone who's unbiased in your life. Stop venting to Bulls fans about Leroy Jenkins. So today, I want to say how I really feel about something you might even be thinking about the same thing this week, and that is BetterHelp. I mean, here's the big thing. You sometimes have some things that just build up in your life, some pressures that build up, some things that, if you're like me, you just push that stuff down to the bottom of your gut and just go, hey, man, I'm going to just live with it. It is what it is. But you need to talk to somebody about that. Get that off of your chest. That is where BetterHelp absolutely comes in, and it really has changed things for me in my life. And so what I want you guys to do is understand that therapy can be different for everyone. Most of us have bigger problems than our favorite sports team. It's important to get those things off of your chest. And I think here's the thing with BetterHelp, it's all made simple. It's all made easy. If you're thinking about starting therapy, this is the way for you to give it a try. It's entirely online, designed to be flexible, suited to your schedule. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnNBA.
All right, Pat. So, the Bulls find a way to make every game interesting. On top of having a lead throughout most of the game where the Utah Jazz only have the lead for 33 seconds, they still figure out a way to make it entertaining on and off the court. It's a close game, comes down to Colin Sexton missing a wide open three in the corner. But before all that, an altercation happens because DeMar DeRozan gets fouled. Torrey Craig, who's out of the game, incites an incident that results in Chris Fleming getting choked, and he gets called for the flagrant foul. What?
The Chris Fleming situation, first off, Colin said the reason Torrey Craig stands up, Colin Sexton hit him in the face. So he fouls him down. Then he comes up and he smacks DeMar in the face. I don't think he was intending to smack DeMar in the face.
Agreed.
But DeMar kind of gave that look like, come on, dog, what are we doing out here? Blah, blah, blah. Torrey Craig immediately stands up, walks up. He looks like he is in the finest of 2010 drip. I mean, black t-shirt, black jacket, GLD chain, black
Jinko
Levi's.
jeans.
Like Jinko jeans, maybe you think those were Jinko? He was ready to stomp somebody out. That's the whole point I'm making here. Like he was purely ready to swing on somebody. And then remembered, I get fined if I actually throw a punch in this game. But that did not stop Andre Drummond from coming out of nowhere. And it taking literally 7 people to hold him back, which tells me he took real exception to that. Because normally in them fights, it's like, hold me back.
Who's going to hold me back?
Hey, bro, it was coaches. Vooch had to go over there, bro. Vooch was like, please go back that way. Like, we don't need you ejected or suspended. The tough part about the tech, I'm fine with the tech on Torrey Craig for instigating. The tough part about the tech for Chris Fleming was I felt like Chris Fleming was trying to like get everybody away, and then John Collins took it the extra mile. I believe John Collins should have been ejected.
I agree.
Like, I don't know how he stays in that game. He pushed the coach, and the coach didn't push him first. The coach kind of like gave him like, all right, let's get up out of here, blah, blah, blah. And he like went hard and like shoved the coach, and then the coach did push back. So I guess I understand the tech on him as well for the pushback. You're going to take them both up. But I absolutely thought John Collins needed to be ejected from that game.
Yeah, John Collins deserved to get out that game. I'm sorry. It is what it is. You can't put your hands on a coach, on anyone for that matter, who's trying to de-escalate the situation, right? And so, unfortunately, it leads to what it leads to, but it does make the end of the game a little bit more interesting to where that
tied the game up. That tied the game up.
Yeah. And then, then Demar had his 2 free throws to push the Bulls up by 2. But then Colin Sexton has enough time in the 3-pointer to catch the ball, look, reset, and then take the shot and still, bro. Were you like me when it was the shoulders, when he reset the shoulders to line up to the basket? It's over. I just knew it was over with.
I thought it was over, bro. When he pulled up, I was fully ready to come on here and be like, now what I told y'all about about Donovan Mitchell. What did I say? What did I tell y'all about Donovan Mitchell? Like, I was fully prepared for I can't believe we just lost that game. And listen, sometimes that's how the games go. And the thing about the Bulls is last season, that shot absolutely would have fallen for them. This season, the Bulls have had that shot fall for them more times than not, getting their 21st clutch win, another clutch game. Like, out of 36 games, you've won 21 of them. That's pretty good. I mean, and the problem is that you keep getting into those clutch games. You keep getting into those clutch games. And I think that's the part that makes this Bulls season so much tougher. Is some of these games are versus the best teams in the NBA. Some of these games are versus the worst teams in the NBA. You never know what Bulls team you're going to get in the final minutes of the game.
It is what it is, man. The Bulls pull it out. But yeah, I was nervous there for a second, and the Bulls got to learn from this. The one thing that we talked about outside of like the clutch victories and things like this team has to learn how to close out games stronger. They just have to.
No, yeah. And I mean, in a sense, they have. Just the 15 times that they haven't suck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In a sense, they have figured out how to close some of these games out. But when you lose 15 of these clutch games, and when you think about that, 36 of the games, how many games have we played this season? Like, that's almost just about half of your games to this point have been clutch games.
Yeah.
Like, that's where it gets tough. That's where it starts to suck, because it's like, again, I have the conversation. This Bulls team being the same team, you're a basket difference no matter how many years you go back under the AK regime. You are a 1 bucket difference. And that's what this season spells out. The Bulls are a 1 bucket difference, offensive rating, defensive rating. And that's why these games are so much of a struggle to pull out at the end of them.
Yeah. I mean, and we still don't play it to the way that the roster wants. Well, a lot of the part of the roster wants to tell you how to play, but that's a story for another day. Me and Pat will continue to break that down. That's off-season talk. We're going to completely tear this team apart.
Yeah. We'll tear this team apart more than AK will. Hey, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Follow us on everything at Locked On Bulls. You can follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. And yes, even in a win like this, we got to play the music. See red! Demar in the 4. Got us heading north. John Collins. He be trying to swing. Big drum, he coming through. And he gonna do his thing. Shout out Chris Fleming. Let the bell ring.
All right, Bulls fans, you can follow me at CEO Haize. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Locked On Bulls. We are free and available on every podcasting app and platform of your choice, as well as YouTube. For Pat the Designer, I'm Haize. This has been Locked On Bulls, and we out here, y'all.
Peace.
This man crazy,
It wasn't my best one. It wasn't my best.
Peace, y'all.
It was the Jazz. What'd you want from me? There was no Lowry.
You got to start writing it down. You got 45 minutes after the game. You got to start writing the song, bro.
Maybe, but then when they're off the dome and like they're hilarious, they're so hilarious. I feel like just like the Bulls, I'm afforded like one mid during the week.